All right. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. We're so excited. Welcome to Soultiful. I'm Toya,
I'm Nakia.
And I am Latoya as well.
and we have our special guest with us today, Maurice and LaToya Bass. So that's three Toyas today, y'all. We got
Boom.
three of us to put up with.
Your power.
So, ladies, let me know what you're working on. Nakia, what's going on?
Nakia worked on nothing. She took naps all day.
Because I'm glad you was honest about that. Because I definitely was gonna say we was out here working. We was looking for Nakia. I had to call you because you wasn't at the desk. You was asleep on the
Right,
job.
right.
But I'm glad. I'm glad. That's one of the beauties of working. The way we do. You can take a nap when you need to. Awesome. Toya Williams.
I am working on new Trello boards. That is what I am working on for my two more social media content platforms. So, yes.
And real quickly, what is Trello? Everybody doesn't know what that is.
Trello is an organizational board, so you can organize all of your ideas, maybe your schedules. I am using it for my social media content.
Fantastic. Okay. And we have a group together, which is the Virtual Assistant Sister Learning Community. And I have content that's not done for next month. So that's what I've been working on today.
Mm.
hmm
Hey,
Yes. What about y'all, Maurice, Toya?
Nakia's face.
I'm working now.
It is what it is. I got six kids.
Go ahead, baby. Oh, uh, I'm an engineer by day, engineer by night, I guess too. I do a few little things, trying to work on my entrepreneurial spirit. But one of the things I
Mm,
do is I do solar designs, photovoltaic systems for retail and commercial spaces, and at night. But in the daytime, I'm an electrical engineer. I do pretty much anything under the sun as far as electrical construction design. So
Cool.
that's pretty much what I do or what I'm doing if we're just talking about business and stuff. So I'll let you go to it.
amazing.
I am today. What did I do today? Oh, a bunch of client projects and stuff. And then working on getting my Desado worked out a lot more.
Ooh, Dubsato's a
Ah,
beast. Yes.
Dubsado.
Dum, dum,
Dubsado has
dum.
a big sale right now. We'll make sure we post about that because people can, even us, you can if you don't have it for the year, you can get it like a 50% discount
Mm-hmm.
right now. So yes,
Yeah, when I
Dubsado.
logged in, my discount was already there. So yeah.
Hey, yes,
Yeah.
Dubsado is a customer relationship management system that many of us use. It's affordable. It encompasses a lot of the things that we need to run our businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it is. So
I
so
love
very very cool.
title too, Dubsado.
I know.
Dubsado.
Dubsado. Yeah. I like that. I like that. That's right. Go on and get loose, bro. That's right. Yes. So Maurice and Latoya are our guests today, and I'm going to read their bio for you real quick here. Thank you so much for being here again, and welcome to Soultiful.
Thanks.
Maurice and Latoya have been married for 12 years.
Boom.
Toya, you look like you're 12. That's the first thing. Yeah.
Yes. I'm robbing
What a
Very
Korea.
handsome couple.
emotional.
Yes, 12
Straight up.
years. Wow. And three beautiful children. And they enjoy traveling and hosting movie nights. Cool. They have recently started a podcast called The Other Half. Oh, I
Yes.
can't. So
Yes.
exciting. And on this podcast, they just talk about life, the things that affect you as an individual and how it can affect you as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. That is
Love it.
wonderful. All
Absolutely love
right.
it.
Yes, so so that's what we're supposed to be talking about right today. We're gonna talk about their podcast. We're gonna talk
Yes.
about communicating, relationships. Okay,
Yes.
just want to make sure I got it right. All right, all right, all right. Okay, perfect. So awesome, guys. So tell me, what in the world made y'all decide to create a podcast together?
It was well. I had been talking to him about it for a while. And then we have a lot of our family members who are close to our age that are starting to get married or in long-term relationships, and they didn't want to go to the older generation because the older generation is like, you do it this way, you don't do it this way. And so with that, and then us just wanting, we talk a lot. Like if something's irritating one of us, we talk it out.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Sometimes him more than me, sometimes I'm just like, ugh, whatever. um And so the podcast it's therapeutic for us because we worked through a lot of things that came up in our head this week, like, oh, this would be a great podcast topic. So that's how it came about.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Basically, she forced me into it. So.
True.
But seriously though, it is a therapy for us because sometimes, you know, we've been getting caught up in this rat race called life, you know, and things just keep going and going and going, and so just keep almost seeing each other in passing. I mean, the coronavirus has helped that because now we get to talk to each other a lot more often, but it helps us to go ahead and talk over things that we've been thinking about all week, or talk over things that are bothering us. And we know that if it's bothering us, it's probably affecting other people in their relationships. I mean, every relationship is different, but we try to make sure we touch at least most of the common bases that seem to be arising quite often. You know, sometimes our friends come to us and say something to us about something going on in their relationship, and we'd be like, dang, we had that same thing going on and stuff, you know. And we kind of talk through what seems to work and what seems not to work. And sometimes we call them for help. So we just try to broadcast that to let everybody know that that's part of the grind, it's part of the sacrifice, and it's part of the journey. So I feel like everybody needs it because, you know, relationships are kind of a popular thing. So I feel like everybody needs it. So if we need it, they might need it too.
It's not a popular thing.
It is. It seems like, you know, that's the thing. You go to school, get good grades, get a good job, and get married. But you know, we just want everybody to know that, you know, that's not what it all has to be about. Marriage isn't everything. Don't get it wrong. But if it is your thing, then, you know, talk with us sometimes. It's fun.
Awesome.
Well, one of the words that stood out to me as you were speaking, you talk about sacrifice. So do you got to do that in these marital relationships?
Yeah, but we don't call it sacrifice, compromise.
Compromise.
Because I'm the oldest of 8, but I'm very spoiled.
Really?
Bad. I mean, not bad, because ain't nothing wrong with it.
He's looking like
ain't nothing wrong with it, girl. I'm spoiled too.
Keep going.
So, and then us growing up in 2 different households, like he was raised, like, Reese is the calm one of us. When he gets upset, he's like, okay, let's talk it out. Let's walk through the steps. Let's think through the process. Me, I'm yelling, I'm pointing fingers, I'm cursing and everything. And so I've had to learn that there are certain things about me as an individual that I need to fix when it comes to being married. So I wouldn't say sacrifice, but there are things that you have to compromise on for the betterment of you and your partner, not just for your partner in your relationship. It helps you out in the end as well.
So, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that you mentioned that he was the calm one, and you pop off. You know what I'm saying? So, so in the beginning of your relationship, how did you manage that personality, especially that popping off? See, I'm the calm one, and how did you work?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you know, it was a long time coming, you know. No. But seriously though, you know, after a while, you know, since we've been together so long, I mean, it's 12 years, but we've been together.
We've been together 16.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, the common tendencies that are happening, the traits that you kind of, you know, brought yourself into, and you know that sometimes, you know, she's gonna look at when she sees a crazy situation happening and stuff, you know, she's more, like you said, popping off. So she sees red all of a sudden, so she doesn't really think it straight. So, and I'm on my opposite end of the spectrum. This is why it balances out and stuff, as though it's like, okay, you got to relax, calm this down. We got to talk this out. Or I'm the one wanting to hear what's really going on, but sometimes it's hard for her to verbalize what she's feeling. So if I'm trying to rush her into talking about what's going on, then she's going to say something that she's not going to really want to say. So I tell her to, you know, just relax and stuff. And now she just be like, okay, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm going to talk about it later.
You give me 5 minutes.
Yeah. So I think that was one of the things we just had to learn over time, because it wasn't always like that, you know, because we did used to it's completely different. So we used to just butt heads all the time in those same instances. But now that we found that common ground, and that's what I mean when I said sacrifice, but it is also compromise too. But that was just one of the facets I'm talking about when I say compromise. But I mean sacrifice. But yeah, we just had to find that common ground in order to make it actually work.
See, I think I am half and half because I'm inquisitive, so I got questions. I got questions. I want to know. I'm
Yeah,
asking about all the details because they got to make sense in my head, right?
yeah,
So, but then when I get to the point of frustration because I'm not getting the answers, then I'm like Toya, like, pow. Now he's like, why are you yelling? And I'm like, because you're not answering my questions.
That's not the answer I was looking for.
Right. I'm still confused. I want to know why. So yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm a pop off person myself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Man. And then, and I mean, I still have situations where I pop off. I mean, sometimes it's warranted.
Yeah.
But then there are also times, especially now, before not so much, but now I'm like, okay, Reese, am I wrong for being mad at this? Or should how do you see this happening? Or if the shoe was only on the foot, what would you have done?
Mm-hmm.
So I have taken a step back and being like, okay, let me think through before I do
That is a really good one to use.
Takes a
Flipping
lot
it
of-
around, flipping it around, and trying to look at it like, so if this was on the other foot, you would be mad too. So we agree. You know what I mean? So, and then now that you agree, you can actually work out how to get past it.
Yep.
Because that's my ultimate thing in a relationship. We got to work it out. We're not married yet, but like we've always said, like, you practice how you play. If we can't get it right now at this stage, we're not going to have it right when we get
That's
to marriage.
right.
Exactly.
So we definitely need to have those habits in place of working things, talking it out. I know you don't
Yeah.
want to, but we got to figure this out.
Yeah, it's not fun all the time, but it's the
Right.
necessary thing to do. I mean, it's a two-way street, and both of you guys, when y'all crossing out paths and everything, you guys both have to be looking at each other at the same time, making sure you're not running each other over. So,
That's right. Yeah, I love that you talked about alignment. Yeah, that's what I got when you guys just have being aligned, and the being compatible, balancing each other out. I think that's really important in relationships. We're going to have different opinions and different personality types and all that, but knowing your spouse or your girlfriend, whatever, and be loving enough just to want to have that balance. I also love that you said that you've been married for 12 years, but you've been together for 16 years. And what I love about that, like, there's no rush. I think people just kind of rush into stuff, and I think about in my own family, I remember when my brother was with his girlfriend, and they even had a child. They weren't married yet, and everybody was upset that they weren't married. They weren't married. But there was just some stuff that needed to be worked out before they actually made that commitment. And I'm glad he his route wasn't traditional or whatever, but it just why get married if you're not ready for the commitment? It just
Right.
there's no rush.
There's
Is the
no
way I
Really
think
rush.
not.
about it.
Every relationship has its own journey. No relationship is like any other one. Like when we had our son before we were married, and we were having people say, "Why aren't y'all married yet?" Well, because we ain't there yet. Just because we got a child, don't mean we're ready to be husband and wife.
Right.
Yes.
And so
Right.
everybody tries to fit relationships in this box, like, oh, you get married, then you have kids, and I mean, yeah, I mean, if that's the way they say do it, but you don't have to do it like that.
Right.
You do it in your own time.
I love it.
And
Because
marriage
it's a
ain't for
tragedy.
everybody. You could be with somebody for 60, 70, 80 years and not be married. To some people, it's just a piece of paper, and that is
Right.
completely fine. Don't let society's ideals define you.
Exactly.
Toy, where you get all this with? Okay, there is 8 kids and all that. You got a lot of wisdom in your little self. My goodness. Yes. Amen. That's fantastic. Thank you. Well, let's play a little game. How about that?
Okay.
Look at Nakia face. Why Nakia look like, why we can't play a game? Why we can't?
You can
Okay.
play a game. I just didn't know the game was coming.
I didn't know the game.
All right, Toya. What game?
What you got,
I'm
girl?
nervous.
Okay.
Look,
Well,
we nervous.
this how I feel. We never had no, relationship experts on. You know what I'm saying?
Experts. Wait.
You- yeah. Let me tell you why you're an expert, because
expert.
you're real. You have experiences
got
that you can
12
share.
years.
You know what I'm saying? So you
Awesome.
have, you know what I'm saying? You people come to you. They're not coming to me. They're coming to you for this advice. So.
I mean, okay, so look. Nakia, how long you been married?
5 years.
Toya, how long you been married?
15.
Ooh, lining them up.
Look,
No, but here's the difference. Me and my husband, we've had so many times we've been apart for long periods of time. So I feel like it's not real regular. So we're still.
But that's still so you're an expert by association. You've been in the journey for so long that you already know the ins and outs and stuff like that. So yeah, you're a pro. You're a pro too.
Yeah. Oh, cause I'm not. Don't come ask me about no marital advice. Y'all watching right now. Y'all go to the Basses. You go to that podcast. You go to the other half. That's
to
what
the other half. Yes,
go
to the other half and listen to the podcast. That's what you do.
So don't forget I said a game. Or let's play my game. Okay. So the game is called Ask the Basses. You know what I'm saying? They're the experts. And so we all are in different levels of relationships and stuff. And so think real good. What's a relationship question that you have?
Okay.
And ask them. We'll ask them to see if they can actually, respond appropriately. They are the experts.
Should I be looking right here instead of looking at
You're good. Yeah.
Question. Let me think.
If you want to look at your face. Your face is right here. But let's get it.
I don't know. Oh, okay. I got a question.
Okay.
I got one.
Let's see if they can answer it.
So, how do you communicate about money? What's the best strategy? Because we all know finances be like the number one issue, and that'll cause divorce. So,
yeah. Which way should we have it?
So I think that conversation should happen before you get married. I know couples who are married who have separate bank accounts, but then they have one account they put money into for bills and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I know couples who have separate money, and she pays for certain bills, he pays for certain. Our money is intertwined.
Yeah.
And I think
it seems to be unusual these days, though. Where we have one bank account,
Mm-hmm.
but we have multiple bank accounts, but we are all both attached to all of those bank accounts.
Yeah.
But that is a conversation. I mean, like you were saying before, conversation is the name of the game.
Yeah.
So if you're planning on having your own money and then our group money and then their own money, then that's fine. But you guys need to just have that conversation up front. I mean, it's no right way or no wrong way. Everybody likes to have their own little play monies and stuff like that. Somebody else wants, I'm the bill. I take care of the bills. I'm the bill.
Which is funny because I'm the accountant.
Yeah, that's just I'm like, Toy, we gotta do. I don't want to look at it. I mean,
but she do it all the time. So when it comes to home, she wants.
But this was even before she was an accountant and stuff. She just does not want to know where the money's going and how the money's being spent. She just wants to know if she can spend it.
She's a wife.
But like I said, making a long story short, the conversation just has to be had.
You have to have. A lot of people are scared to talk about finances, but you have to have that conversation.
Yes. We all know in the U.S., that's on the top 3 of things that ruin relationships.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Of course.
Do y'all recommend to have your own account and have joint accounts? What do you recommend?
Yeah, I recommend having own account and a joint account. I mean, you gotta have.
She like me.
At least have your own Cash App. At least.
You gotta have your own play money and stuff to do. Like if you want to buy, like if she wants to buy that damn purse she always trying to get every time we go to town. Or if I want to get a new pair of shorts or something like that, you can go ahead and spend it and not feel guilty.
I like how you said purse and shorts.
Yeah.
I know.
My purse is easy. No, mine ain't.
But I agree.
Yeah.
So I don't have a separate account, but I know, Toy, this is your budget.
Yeah. So that's the reason why we do have multiple accounts. We have one account that's strictly for the bills, and then we always put a certain percentage of that money into a savings, and then we always put a little bit of that money into the actual entertainment account, so we can just spend it and don't feel bad about it. And so that's the way we do ours.
I think that's healthy. That makes sure you're not dipping in, and so no one's getting mad about the water bill and that type of thing. So that's fair.
Water bill.
The
water bill.
My question.
Oh my gosh, the purses be tearing us up.
Dude.
And then
okay.
Side note. Then it'd be a whole year later, we get ready to go out of town and stuff. And I'm like, what about that purse you had last time? And you go into the closet and storage, and it's just sitting there collecting dust.
Oh.
All right, next story. Let's go.
Next question has to do with children.
Okay.
How do you make time for yourself when you are a busy parent?
Good question.
Multiple ways.
So we have what's it called? What's the thing called on the dressing table?
Oh, that's the date fund.
The date night fund.
It's basically this little. It's like a piggy bank, but it's like a poster with a little penny drop or money drop on the top, and we just drop money in there. Anytime we get extra change or any dollars or something because we don't usually use dollars and stuff that much, we just throw the change inside of there, and it just pulls up, and then we use that every month for our date night.
Oh, that's so sweet. See, a lot of us have cuss jars, but they got a date night piggy bank.
Yeah.
That is sweet.
But it was because full transparency, we did have the issue of constantly working and then coming home and parenting and then not making time for each other. And so we had to sit down and have that conversation. Okay, what are we going to do? So now we do once or twice a month. It's just us. Even if we're just in the basement and we send the kids to grandma and grandpa's.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a staycation.
So we all got busy people around here, so it's hard to just fit those Saturdays in. You know, you got family and friends want to do birthday parties, and you got like little dinners, weddings, and baby showers and stuff. They be ripping the whole month up. By the time the month's over, you be like, damn, we didn't even get to do anything for ourselves. So that's why we went on ahead and said, let's set this aside, and then also I went and bought a little wine tasting wine club thing, so we can just make sure we do it. And it's every month. We have to do a wine tasting every month.
Nice.
At least once a month, and we get like a little bottle and everything at Cooper's Hawk and stuff. So that kind of forces us to go out and make sure we get those bottles and get our money's worth, and it forces us to have a night out together.
So that's a good idea, like prepay for something to force yourself to go out. That's something that, I might see my husband maybe once a month, but I can prepay for something. Yeah, that'd be cool. Okay, that's great advice. Okay, y'all are doing good. Y'all are doing great. Awesome. Okay, so let's see if I can find a hard one for y'all. Okay.
Y'all in the hot seat.
All right, so I'm not, you may not have dealt with this, but couples do, so infidelity, somebody done cheated, they've admitted to it, and you decide to try to move forward. How you do that?
If you forgive, you can't bring it up again. Ooh. Like you don't forget, so you know what signs to watch for, he knows how to protect you, you know how to protect yourself, or vice versa. If she cheated, then you know what signs to look for, so you can eliminate those before they pop off. But like I said, if you've decided to forgive, you can't keep bringing it up. I mean, that fear is always going to be there.
Yeah.
But don't throw it in their face because you decided to stay with them through that, which is completely fine. Just because they cheated once doesn't always mean they're going to cheat again.
Right.
What are some tips though to help? I don't know. I guess what are some things that you think can help to help ease your mind and help you to move forward? Because you can say I forgive, but it's like, okay,
I think usually talk. I have that issue in my relationship. My husband has a daughter. She's the same age as our wedding. So, you have to continuously have a conversation to say, I need for you not to do this because it makes me feel uncomfortable. Or,
that's good.
Just always talking it through and not trying to accuse and not try to assume, whenever you feel like something's a little hinky, be like, hold up.
Right.
Yeah.
This is sounding a little too familiar. I need for you to calm me down.
Right.
Right. I think what Toya was really trying to say, and like what you were saying is, it's not like you don't want to dwell and stuff on the past because yes, that person had did something or infidelity had taken place, but in order to move forward, all that has to be thrown on the table. That person that had made that mistake has to understand. Yes, okay, that mark is on my back now. I got that blood. So what I got to do is acknowledge every time that I feel like she's feeling a little bit threatened or he's feeling a little bit threatened, she needs to have the conversation or I need to have the conversation. I think no matter what, you don't have to dwell on the exact situation that took place and everything, but you still got to have that conversation and make sure that things don't get complicated because of what had happened in the past. Because if it keeps like festering and stuff and y'all keep having issues that seem like they're similar to what had happened before, even if it's like little things that trigger it and everything, the person that was cheated on needs to be comfortable and saying that they're still not ready, they're not comfortable yet with any type of situation you guys are getting ready to go through. Because I don't know if that sounds confusing and everything, but you have to let the person who was cheated on have their period of distrust and problems and stuff with you. And you got to power through it. Don't get mad at them because they're still fighting their battle and everything.
Yeah.
If you chose to stay with them after you had left them for somebody and then decided to come here, then you're gonna have to take that badgering and digging and stuff as they slowly heal.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that person on the other side, they got to understand that that person has decided to stay here because they're loving you and they want to be with you. So don't make that thing that happened in the past be something that hampers your future.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I understand from what you said is that the healing process takes time. It just does.
Just does.
Yeah, once you lose trust,
Yep.
Once you lose trust, it's like,
yeah,
Lord, how do you get that back?
No matter how hard you try and stuff, it's gonna always, even though we say it's not gonna come back, it's not gonna trigger. Yep, it's always gonna be something that triggers, and you can't avoid it. But
and don't invalidate it. If that person has that trigger, know where it came from. Don't make it seem like, oh, you should have been over it by now. No, it can be years, and something will trigger. I mean, just like any traumatic event, that's a traumatic event.
It's a traumatic event. That's good.
So any traumatic
like that.
event,
Yeah.
You know, there's triggers, certain things you see that, oh, okay, this is this. Oh, okay. Right. So you just gotta make sure that you know that their feelings are valid, and that you are with them to work through it because you caused it.
Yeah, and as you grow with each other, you'll develop the trust again.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you guys are you're in this journey together, you know, and like we always say, you know, the relationships should always complement, they should never complicate. If you start feeling things are getting a little out of control and that person still, even though you've gotten over this fact that they've cheated on you and stuff, and it still feels like they're not making you better and it's kind of hurting you and changing the way you see life and everything, then your gut is really right. People always say, you know, the gut, so, you know, don't follow your gut and everything, but people should actually follow your gut. Your gut does tell you something is not right, and just have a conversation.
I will say one thing that I have learned, because you know how you say always trust your gut, but sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. So you might be feeling some type of way, but it's the total another thing going on, and it's not even what you thought, but all the triggers. And like you said, you can only go by your experience. So if in past relationships, this action led to this, as soon as you see it in another relationship, you're like, oh, I already know where this is going. It might not even be that, but that's what you're going to feel. That's exactly what's going to happen.
That's where you got to communicate.
Right.
Like,
that's where you got to find that, when you find that trust and find that comfortability in that other person, then those type of triggers and stuff don't hurt as much because you know down in your heart what that person is doing for you and what you're doing for that person. But it's a jump out on faith, really. You know?
Right.
It is. Wow. So once a cheater, not always a cheater. All right.
Yeah, because you know when we was back in those good old college days and everything stuff. No, this is a podcast.
That's right. This is a podcast.
We grow up. You grow up.
Yeah, we grow up.
This is the podcast.
Because we didn't think that we were going to be together at one time. It was a short time.
No.
Oh, it's me.
It's
me. Oh yeah, it was.
Because we know we didn't, because when we first got together, he didn't want a serious relationship, and I was just trying to kick it because we were in college.
Yeah,
I was just trying to kick it.
I'm
just trying to kick it.
That's right.
You know?
But then I think I fell in love with you really fast.
I mean, we both fell in love pretty fast, I guess.
Aww.
But
it's a love story.
Yes. Kind of sweethearts.
I fought it off.
He fought it hard.
She was too good for me. You know, you just have those certain things that are characteristics that, because when you're in college, you really don't know who the hell you are. I mean, college really is where you kind of find out who you really are. And I dated a few people, and I think that I was like, man, I'm not looking for this right now. This is just not going to happen. I need to go to get out of college so I can get serious about my job, and then have something to provide to that significant other. But you know, it's just certain little things that just hit you a certain way that makes it feel like it's supposed to be right. And like I said, it's that gut that tells you that, you know what, your mind is saying, no, don't do this, you got to do this, but maybe this is the thing to do.
It's something about them Toyas.
Something about them toys, boys. Toy power.
Just give it the right way, I guess. Next thing you know.
And the kids.
Yep. The key in there.
You're like,
I don't know about all that.
So I have my last question to see if the Basses can answer.
Okay.
And that's, I feel like our grandparents, great grandparents, like divorce was not even an option. Are you crazy? No. So is it an option today? I mean, I don't know. I guess people get divorced all the time over, simple stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What's y'all's like little pact as far as divorce? What do you think? What's y'all's pact?
So we feel like marriage ain't for everybody.
Right.
And sometimes people get married for the sake of being married, or two, because they have everybody around them saying, "Oh, y'all been together for so long, y'all should be married."
Outside
but
influences.
if it's not benefiting you, and it doesn't have to be financially, because we all have those trials in our life where finances are just horrible.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's not benefiting you, if it's only hindering your mental, then you don't have to be married. Marriage, divorce isn't an option.
Right.
You shouldn't stay in a relationship just because you feel like, oh, I have to be married, it's embarrassing, or it hurts me when I see women with children stay married because for the children's sake. And as a mother, I completely get it. We want to make sure our kids are okay, but our kids will never be okay if we're not okay.
Right.
Because when we're frustrated all the time and we're depressed all the time, and our kids see when we're not happy, when we think we hide it, kids know. Mm-hmm. So the best thing you can do for your kids is get out of a negative relationship.
Right. And everybody sees this as a spiritual bond and a religious bond, and they feel like if they do decide to take that divorce, it's going to be frowned upon. They're going to hell and all that and stuff. I just do not believe that, and I know that, like we said, life on this planet is very short. This planet, being on Earth, is the test. And yes, you might have made that choice to marry somebody that really wasn't really for you, but sometimes we just aren't. And in that test, sometimes we're just not ready when we do decide to make that decision. We grow, we change, we learn who we are and what we need to do and where we need to go. And sometimes that piece of the puzzle is more complicating than it is complementing. And so when it's causing problems, stress, strife in your life, and it feels like that's not the way that it's supposed to be, and it's hurting you, which is in turn hurting you, like you said, your children, or even outside friends and family relationships, then better follow it and just let it go. You gotta still make sure you're a better you when when the time calls and you gotta go up to them pearly gates and stuff. You need to make sure that you're the best you can be. And if that doesn't help you get to that point, then you gotta let it go.
A bad marriage affects a lot of people, not just the husband and wife. It affects a lot of people.
It's infectious and stuff, and it grows and it turns you into a person that nobody even likes and stuff. I'm just talking about some people that I even actually know. I'm not going to say any names, but you see that transformation in them when you know that they're not having something that they're truly cherishing and loving. It just sucks the life out of them, literally.
Yeah. Wow. It can also bear false witness, because then people think all marriage is like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Then they won't, right. Out there, because they're like, well, because like I know nobody in my family is married. And so when my husband proposed, I was like, I ain't getting married. You must not know. we not married people.
Right.
Then, then it was like, okay, I think I'm ready. So then it's like, okay, I don't know if I'm ready, but I think I'm ready. And we're going to do this. And then it was like, okay, you cheated, so now we're going to get a divorce. And then he was like, he didn't want a divorce. And I'm like, well, what we going to do? So it's a whole gambit of things that comes up when divorce comes about. Do both of you want it? If both of you don't want it, what is the other one willing to do to make it work?
Exactly.
And don't listen to people with bad relationships when they try to give you advice. That is another thing. When single Susie is over here trying to tell you how to work out your marriage, realize she's single Susie. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And a lot of people
single Susie, those
friends who've been in these horrible relationships after horrible relationship, like, well, she said do this. Okay, but she did that, and look where, you know what I'm saying? So
what you said?
To people who are actually for you and not just bitter.
I think that's in general, get advice from people who have successful marriages.
Yes.
I remember me and my husband, well, when he like drugged me to get married, because I wasn't interested, I like being single.
He bust you over the head and drug you to the
He did. He said, "Come on, girl." And so even my pastor, we went to different churches. My pastor had been divorced 3 times. His pastor been divorced 2 times. So we went way out in the country, round yonder, and found us this pastor. Like his wife was in a wheelchair. They were like 75 years old, and he did our marriage counseling, and that was great. It was practical, and he could tell us some things,
Yeah, they've been together 75 years. I mean,
man, he loved his wife. Yes.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I need to know, how did you tolerate that person this long? What did you do to get past the struggles and stuff like that? You need to talk to somebody that been through some things with their person,
That's right.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's right. Oh goodness. Well, this has been fun. I feel like it's been
Question.
too.
What was the question?
I know, and we're like out of time, Toya.
I have a good question too. Dang.
Oh, give me one. I'm ready.
Toya said,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Don't
Sorry.
let-
If she can give her question, because I'm trying to be respectful of everybody's time. But what you got another question, Toya? Because this has been fun.
Oh yeah, I do remember. Bang. Let's talk about this new word, entanglement. Y'all know I had to bring that topic up because y'all know what, 25 years? Like, listen, we all knew that relationship was supposed to be open.
Yep.
But I don't feel like your marriage should be open. Everybody shouldn't be in your business.
Hello.
But the world is now in their business. And we got this new word that everyone's using, entanglement, which they don't feel that, I mean, not that our opinion matters, but, they don't feel that, no one cheated. They were separated. They were doing their own thing.
Right.
But now everyone's using this as that new word, like, oh, I'm in an entanglement.
What does that mean? What's defined entanglement?
A situationship.
Oh,
Situationship.
Same thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
extra activity as such.
Yes.
Oh, but I thought that was before you. I thought that was not married people. I thought.
Oh, married people do it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Married
I
people.
mean, I had a stigma in my head that all military people cheated. Like that was a part of being in the military. You cheated. Like I literally thought that for a long time until I had to meet some military people that are like, no, you cheat on me, it's gonna be smoke in the city.
Smoke in the city. You know, the same thing.
So I'm like, okay. So I just thought everybody in the military do that. So
Well-
in my mind, like I've never been with a military person because they, so
Well, so the open relationship, though, Toya Williams, you made a judgment.
there's
You
no
said
such thing over here in this.
that's what I'm saying. You said there should be open relationship, but
No, I am not.
do they work for some people? Is that?
No.
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 Let me ask extras real quick. Tell me what y'all think. What y'all think
No
about this?
such thing over here in these parts.
I don't.
No open relation.
You're in a relationship and it's open. How relationships open? It's not like a convenience store.
Oh.
You know what? I'm gonna say
No,
that.
no Tootsie Rolls for a penny.
Time when I was like really, really having a good time, and I had this thing called a roster. And so there was like a group of guys that I dated, and there was no commitment in it, and everybody was aware we're not dating. This is us having fun, and these are the rules. You can't ask me questions, and you don't know what I'm doing. There were rules to it. So to me, you can have that type of relationship and be in a relationship with other people because you're supposed to be dating.
Right. So
Right.
is dating a relationship though?
I
I
don't.
mean, there's multiple relationships.
There's multiple layers,
Right. And
Ooh,
I mean, I
This
think
get complex.
especially
really,
with everybody.
I think really to each his own and stuff. If the
Listen,
relationship
you're my
laid out
boy.
those boundaries and stuff for that relationship, that's what it's gonna be.
Ain't no entanglement
Yeah.
over here though.
Ain't no
I know,
entanglement.
but let it know. That's right.
Polygamy and stuff, is that included? No. Okay. No, we can't do that type of stuff in our relationship. But if you had that conversation and stuff, and that's the things that you really like, and that's the things that you guys agreed on,
Right.
it is what it is. Whatever floats your boat.
But
Right.
make it mutual. Don't be like, I got an entanglement with my wife knowing your wife really don't know.
Yeah.
Mm.
Make it
If you
mutual.
want
Communication.
I mean,
They were. I mean, they made it seem like they was being 100% transparent on this entanglement stuff, but I think
To be honest, Will looked like he was a little surprised.
Oh, he did. Yeah,
like,
I don't know who they was trying to fool.
I saw a little bit of it. He was like, entanglement. He was like, relationship? Yeah. Because that's really what it was. And she had a relationship with this little kid. You know, what was it?
I mean, he was a little kid. He confused. He's so confused.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
First of all, because you don't kiss and tell. Famous.
Yeah, thank you.
Like, I can't believe you.
That's first of all, but
it's childish. Yeah,
it's extremely childish.
Yeah. But it is. I'm not the person to judge. I mean, if they had agreed on that type of relationship, then they agreed on it. But I don't think they've given everybody everything, which is cool with me. I mean, that's their relationship. But I think it's more layers to that than we know.
Yeah. Right.
That part.
Don't be using entanglement as an excuse.
Yeah. Even Will was like, entanglement. Like, what is that?
Yeah. Yeah. You know the little meme where they got a screenshot of his face looking like, to bust your forehead right now.
You can tell he wanted to a couple times.
Oh, goodness. And that's got to be embarrassing because, like,
yeah,
I truly believe, like, you know, what goes on behind closed doors is our business. If we're going through something, the world don't even know we're going through something. Because when we leave out of this house to go, you know, fight the world, I want home to be home based. This is the place where you can take off the armor, you can be vulnerable, you can be yourself. Yeah. But when we go out there, it's us against the world. What did he just tell you? What did he say? All right, it's what he just said, and you got each other's back. What did she say? You know what I mean? We are on each other's side against everyone else. When we come home, we can hash out all that. We can, you know, dress up each other's wounds, and we can go back and do it again tomorrow. But that's no one's business.
Well, I have a question then with you saying that, Toya. Just depending on your personality type, you know, sometimes in relationships, and especially if you're having problems in your relationship, is it okay to tell, you know, your best friend what's going on?
No.
It's never okay.
Your best friend outside of the relationship.
That friend is not in the inner sanctum of your relationship, so they're not going to give you the type of advice where you should have went to your partner to get.
But what if you and your partner, you're not seeing eye to eye? That happens in relationships. Like y'all just.
But y'all gotta work it word
for that communication.
Like, let me give you an example. Like, for instance, when a man is going through what's that? Like when he's like 40-ish and he.
Oh, midlife crisis.
Yeah, when he goes through that crisis, like okay, so there's friends and stuff that go through that kind of stuff, you know, and they don't know what to do, and that you can't talk to the man. You know, maybe women go through their own stuff with menopause stuff. I don't know, but she literally can't because he's all over the place. He's crazy. Right. What is she supposed to do?
So there's different scenarios. I feel like if you and your husband are into it and y'all arguing or he pissed you off, don't go to your friends for advice because one, you letting them in your relationship, so they're constantly going to try to get in it. And then two, you're leaving it open to where they feel like they can have, you know, an opinion on what's happening in your marriage. You know what I mean? So, but
you need to find a neutral.
Right. If you have a husband and your husband's going through something and you genuinely, it's not out of a malicious place, you're genuinely trying to get advice on how to help him through this, that's different. Versus me going to my friend, girl, this man pissed me off. Let me tell you what he did. What should I do?
There's a difference. I agree.
Yeah. Right. I think finding a neutral party, like, you know, a marriage counselor or somebody. Yes, somebody that you can confidently talk to without them being biased on one side or the other, because they're neutral. They can give you sound advice. And plus, you need to have your mate there with you, so you don't have conversations without them. You know what I mean? So you can actually say, well, this is what I've been feeling. I've been trying to talk to you, but we aren't talking. So this is my way to get it out to you so that I can get your ear.
What do you think about like marriage? Even if you're not having problems, do you think that's a good thing to do, just to talk every once in a while? Who's done that? I've never done that.
I was just thinking, I was like, that's a good idea. I mean, we had we had quick counseling and stuff with our pastor, you know, early in our relationship, but other than that, we never really did that. But I think that would be a healthy way to have a neutral ground conversation.
Yeah,
just aren't meshing well when you can't, because sometimes you just can't get it right because everybody's just not seeing eye to eye. It would be great to have a medium between the two and just have that conversation.
Because, you know, the way they say outside looking in, someone may notice something about y'all's, whatever the situation is, whatever the argument is, they may notice an element that neither one of y'all really thought about, and they're like, oh. And then it opens you both up So then you like, oh, well, yeah, we probably could have did it that way.
Exactly.
You know, and it's all over now.
That is true. We can do that.
We have definitely gone past our time, but I've enjoyed it immensely. Can you let us know where can we find your podcast? What time to tune in?
Okay.
So we late, but this podcast every other Monday.
Okay.
We promote it on Facebook and Instagram, but if you go to anchor.com, Anchor FM / the other half with 2 E's on B, and you'll find us there. But the same thing on Facebook and Instagram, the other half.
Yeah.
The other half. Y'all listen to that podcast. It is everything.
It is.
It is everything. We will have everything down in the description box below. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and meet us right back here every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern. Love you guys.
Thank you. Check out the other half.
I need some more from you guys too. So I make sure to